Hello Broadway gymnasts and welcome to this week's lesson. So for today we are going to be working on diving cartwheels, which is kind of an intermediate step between cartwheels and learning how to do aerials. It can also be helpful for learning how to do round-offs and the fact that you have to do a hurdle and timing an arm circle, although for round-offs you don't always do an arm circle, but it can definitely teach you helpful things regarding any sort of cartwheel or aerial that you are going to be doing. So we are going to start off with a stretch. It's going to be focused on our wrists. Since a diving cartwheel, we will be landing slightly heavier on our hands than we would normally be for a cartwheel. And we are also going to be doing a lot of straddle stretches, as you're going to need the flexibility to get your feet over your head quite quickly. You are also going to need a little bit more space than normal today, because as we get started, we are going to start off with a couple step of like a run or a jog just to get us going, because that will make it easier to learn until you learn how to generate the power just from standing from your legs. So it'll be easier to get your body to figure out how the skill actually works by taking a couple of steps before the hurdle, and then once your body figures out what the correct position is, then once you start taking away those steps, you can then correct yourself back to the form that you had whenever you were taking steps. So it'll be a good way to say, I landed short, so maybe I need to have a little bit more power in the beginning, or maybe I need to drive this leg more. So we're going to start with that. Because of that, I will be breaking down the run and hurdle part of the dive cartwheel, so that way you guys can see it. Because once I actually start going to do the dive cartwheel, I will be starting off camera from you guys. So you guys will not be able to see the run part of it. You guys will probably be able to see the hurdle and the cartwheel. But you guys might not see the hurdle. I have not mapped it out yet. But yes, I will break it down for you, so no need to worry about that. Can you guys believe it's December? It's crazy. I still feel like I couldn't get over the fact that it was October 2 months ago. Anyway, I am just glad that 2020 is almost over. It has been a year. It's been a year that feels like it's been 3 in 1. Crazy. Anyway. It'll be 1 for the books, literally and figuratively. Also, please remember, as it gets further into winter, it might get colder. I'm not sure what temperature it is in California, but in here in Texas, it's cold. So as it gets colder, please make sure that you take more time to stretch carefully, because everything, your muscles, your tendons, everything's going to be tighter, and so your risk of injury might be a little bit higher. So you want to make sure that you get a good stretch in and make sure that everything is nice and warm before you actually start gymnastics. Don't just go through the movements and then move on. Make sure that you really feel like that you've gotten a good stretch and that, again, everything is warm before you start doing gymnastics on it. So if you need to like run around the house for a minute, just to get your body warmed up before you start stretching, or stretch and then run, go for it, whatever works. But I want you to make sure that you have a warm body to do gymnastics on. That is one of the good things about doing these videos on the carpet, because I don't wear socks for the videos because I don't like the feeling of slipping, but my feet get cold. But because I'm on the carpet and I'm moving them, they warm up. So it's like, yes. Because otherwise, whenever I land on my feet after doing like a jump or something, whenever your feet are cold, like it hurts a little bit. So it's like, haha, I can warm up my feet, or I can just sit here and do this. Hello, my psychotic child is out. She had like a 2.5, 3 hour nap, which is the reason why I am making this video now. I mean, for you guys, you wouldn't have, goodbye. You guys would have seen this video either way. But I had plans to make this video 3 hours earlier than I did. However, you know the unspoken rule that if you have a pet laying on you, you can't get up? She decided she wanted to take a 3 hour nap on me. So, it was very, very adorable. But yeah, I got nothing done for 3 hours. Oh well. She makes it worth it. So, anyway, I'm going to go on ahead and tuck in my shirt and show you what we are going to do for the dive cartwheel. Hello, what is your issue? You just want attention. I feel like she does this every single time I turn on the camera and I'm not giving her attention. It's almost like she's a toddler. Except she's like I think she's like a 14-year-old toddler. Definitely old enough to not be acting like that. Come here. You know what? I'm gonna get her box out. What are you doing? Come here. Here. Here's your box. Just behave. Okay. So easy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start over there in that corner and do the dive cartwheel going this way. So I will be showing everything going this direction so that way it stays the same and consistent. So I'm going to go on ahead and move some of this further out of the way to give myself a little bit more space. Go. Leave it alone. Oh well. Okay, so going on with the run jump hurdle. Let's see. For this part, I will go towards you guys so that way you can see it better. So for the 2-step hurdle, I am a lefty, so I am going to take 2 steps, hurdle, and go for the dive cartwheel. So it's going to be 1, 2, and with your bad leg in front, or for me, my right leg. The hurdle is jumping off of 1 foot and landing on either 1 or 2. In this case, you're going to land on 1 foot, okay? So I'm going to jump and then take a really big lunge, okay? This really big lunge allows you to get really low to the ground and allows you to essentially make this leg a spring. So what happens is your back leg kicks really hard over your head, and then this leg is going to act like a spring, and you're going to push all the way, straightening out your knee, and then pushing all the way through your toe. So then you can really get some air, okay? So that's going to be important for 2 things. 1, whenever we're doing the dive cartwheel, the goal is to finish the cartwheel. So we need this leg to work so that we can actually stand up the cartwheel and not just dive onto our hands and then crash because we don't have any more rotation. 2, we want time, right? So if we don't get a lot of height, we aren't going to really accomplish our goal of a dive cartwheel, which essentially is waiting a little bit longer before our hands touch the ground. Your hands should not touch the ground at the same time either. It should still be 1, 2, just like a normal cartwheel. But you do want to keep them off the ground for as long as possible. So you need height and time, which you get from this leg, okay? So they need to be working together. So, if you want to, you can just practice this part. Hurdle, lunge, okay? It should be a really deep lunge, okay? Let me show you how deep of a lunge I actually mean, okay? Hurdle, lunge. My cat thought that was coming at her, okay? A really deep lunge. That's also going to allow you to get close to the ground, because for an aerial, you want your chest really down low so that way your feet can go over your head. Otherwise, your feet are going to have to go up even higher to rotate around your body. So if you get down nice and low, your feet will just be able to go over your head because they're already over your body and they don't have to go up with your body and then over it. So, now the arm circle. This might help you get a little bit more speed. If this confuses you, you don't have to do the arm circle, but essentially it's going to be a little bit like vault. So step, as your bad foot comes forward, you're going to bring your arms up, and then as you land, and then here, okay? So that's kind of going to be the timing of the arms. I'm going to speed it up for you a little bit now, okay? 1, 2, okay? And this also helps you remember to reach forward, because if your arms were straight up, you'd be landing like this, which you don't want. You also don't want your hands down, so that's not very good. You want to have the really long straight line, okay? Now, you do not have to use the arm circle. You can just hurdle. And as you can see, I got my arms where they needed to be, and I just kept them there. So you can do it either way. So I'm going to go on ahead. Oh, hello, I did not know that you came behind me. I'm going to run through the hurdle for the righties. I'm not going to run through right leg and left leg cartwheels, because I believe that you guys already know how to do that. So I'm just going to walk through the hurdle for each lefty and righty cartwheel, and then you will do the cartwheel of the leg that you choose, right? So the one that I showed you is for lefties that are going to do left leg cartwheels and dive cartwheels. So the righty version, you're going to start with your right leg, left leg, jump off of your left leg and land on it, and then lunge forward with your right leg, okay? And then you're just going to do a normal cartwheel from here, right? You guys are going to go to your right, lefties are going to go to your left, okay? So with the arm circle, the righty cartwheel will look like this. Okay? Same thing. Now, as I was mentioning with the dive cartwheel, you want to get your chest nice and low, and you want to have time before your hands hit the ground. Now, unlike an aerial drill, I don't want you to bend your arms and just keep them up there. The goal is to have your arms straight and to get enough height that even with your arms straight, your hands still won't touch. There's a difference, okay? So I'm going to show you the correct version, then the incorrect version for this drill particular, and then I'll show you the correct version again. So again, I'm going to start off camera. So I'm going to do a step, step, hurdle, diving cartwheel, okay? And here we go. Okay, so it doesn't seem like there was a long time before my hands hit the ground, but it's better than my hands immediately touching the ground. So now I'm going to show you the incorrect way. So there are some aerial drills where the goal is just to not touch your hands at all, in which case you want to bring your arms up and then put them down whenever you start to not feel comfortable. I don't want you to do that because I want you to practice allowing your hands to be fully extended and having enough height with your legs that they still don't touch. If you do this, this allows you to almost not touch your hands without using as much effort from your legs. So this is going to push you to really use that leg to make sure that your arms don't touch. So here's the incorrect version for this drill in particular. Okay? So see how I started with them really bent and then I shot them out? That is a good drill to use for aerials, but that's not what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to go back and show you the correct version again. After a quick breather. Whew. My cat's just chilling out in her box. Alright. So once again, here is the correct version. Like that. Okay? So, then what you want to work up to doing is not having to take the step hurdle. Is you want to maybe just take one step, or eventually no steps. You should be able to generate all that power from your leg. It's okay if you struggle. The goal is to struggle because then it will teach your muscles to work harder and then say that you get back into doing 2 steps, you're gonna be flying because you challenged yourself to do it with none, okay? So, I'm gonna start here now, and I'm going to see what I can do with just a step. So what I mean by that is I'm literally just going to start with my leg up, kick it up, and then get into the lunge. So, no extra steps. Just gonna start with the leg here with the toe up, lift it, and go into the lunge, and go, okay? Here we go. You really want to stretch this out so you can get as low as possible. Okay, so the cartwheel was not as big as it was whenever I had a little bit of a running start, but that's not the point. It's not going to be as big because I didn't have as much power. The goal is to generate as much power as I can with just this leg. And I think I did that. So I hope that this gives you a lot to work with and that you can build up the strength of your legs and the form that you will need to work on aerials in the future. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.